So really this is going to come out in a variety of ways, but a great way to showcase this is, playful banter, right? So you can joke with her like you would a little sister. You can poke fun in a lighthearted but still caring way. Again, the goal here is to get her talking and find commonality as quickly as possible in the conversation. So this is a great one to sort of get the ball rolling and get the conversation flowing. Hello world, Prince here, and welcome to the channel, Gentlemen and Scholars, where we discuss dating, style, personal development, and so much more. So if you're new to the channel, definitely make sure you take a look around, like and subscribe, as it helps with the algorithm and helps to build that community of tight-knit gentlemen and scholars. So for today's topic, we're gonna be going over 10 conversation starters for a girl that you may like. So feel free to use these. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into today's video. So before I get into these 10 conversation starters, I really wanted to start off with some general tips that will be advantageous for you aspiring gentlemen out there as you go off on your dating journey. These tips will put everything into context and also help with your delivery as you deliver those conversation starters. So let's go ahead and get into these. So let's touch on the art of breaking the ice and how to avoid awkward moments. So to do this, a very quick and easy way to do this is with a lighthearted humor. So really this is going to come out in a variety of ways, but a great way to showcase this is, playful banter, right? So you can joke with her like you would a little sister. You can poke fun in a lighthearted but still caring way. And if she's a good, easygoing woman, she'll likely throw in some banter of her own, almost to see how you'll take it as a subtle test. And this brings me to my next point. Always have a witty comeback. If you are ever in a situation where you are out on a date or maybe you make an approach and something stumps you, definitely make note of this and come up with a witty comeback for that particular scenario. Joking and lighthearted humor is one of the quickest and easiest way to get her to open up to you. So how are you able to cultivate that personal connection and get to personal, deep, and meaningful conversation? Listen, listen, listen. Listening is going to be your friend, gents, and is going to be one of the quickest ways that you can get her to open up to you. This is the easiest way to keep her engaged. If you gents have any women in your life, I'm sure you can go to them and they can give you one or two stories of dates that they've gone on where guys just kept on talking and, eventually they just tune out. So definitely want to make sure that you're listening during the conversation. You also want to make sure that you're asking good questions that facilitate good conversation. And the goal here is to find commonality, shared interests as quickly as possible during the conversation. As for you, however, when she asks you questions, you're going to want to make sure that you keep it short and stimulate her curiosity, kind of keep her guessing. Don't reveal everything about yourself too soon. It kind of takes away the mystery and takes away the excitement of sort of peeling back the layers and learning more about you. Make her work for it. In terms of complimenting, you're going to want to be tactful in your approach. You want to give genuine and specific compliments and avoid, disingenuous, random compliments. To give a specific recent example, I was recently working at a Starbucks and this guy walks right up to this girl and comes right up to her and says, "Hey, I like your nails." And she sort of gave this awkward look and, fake smile, and he ended up leaving, but it just gave an awkward impression. So make sure that any complimenting that you do is specific, genuine, and honest. Also consider using the mirroring technique. This is a really good technique that is very effective. Essentially, you use some of the words that the other person is using during the course of their conversation, and you repeat a little bit of what they said back to them to sort of, number one, confirm that you are actually listening to the conversation. And number two, it's sort of a tactic that forces the commonality. So definitely make sure that you're integrating this into your conversations. And lastly, as you're nearing towards the end of the date you always want to end the date just a little bit early, where the conversation could still sort of go on, but make sure that you're ending at a high note, right? So end where you could still have a conversation, but kind of leave her anticipating, and this will sort of get her thinking about the next date. And this will build anticipation and hopefully get her thinking about the next date. All right, gents, and now for the juicy part. Here are my 10 recommended conversation starters. And these are conversation starters that I've used in my own life. So definitely make sure that you are integrating these into your conversations. So go ahead, get out your pen and notebook and write these down. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, subscribe to join the Gentlemen and Scholars family. And consider checking out the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website, free resources, Gentlemen and Scholars merch, book recommendations, consultation services, and our free Gentlemen and Scholars Ultimate Handbook. Well, you'll learn personal development tips on how to build a successful life and become the gentleman of your dreams, style tips to develop an eye-catching, attractive, and unique personal avatar, and dating tips to attract, court, and keep the woman of your dreams. Visit the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website for more. Now back to the video. So number 1 for 10 thought-provoking conversation starters, that's going to be, tell me about yourself. Did you grow up around here? Again, the goal here is to get her talking and find commonality as quickly as possible in the conversation. So this is a great one to sort of get the ball rolling and get the conversation flowing. So number 2 on my list for thought-provoking conversation starters, that's going to be, what do you do for fun? The goal here is, again, to find that commonality, but to do this, you're going to need to get her talking. So this is a great one to integrate into your conversations. All right, so number 3 on the list that I love to use is, what would you be doing if you weren't here with me right now? So this is one I love to pull out, particularly if the conversation seems to be going a little stale, because this will definitely get her talking and will make her think about the answer, right? Like, she has to think through it and kind of go through, what does her day look like? And, what might she be doing at this exact time? So, through that, she'll sort of go through a list of different things that she might be doing. And this is, again, an opportunity to build that connection, maybe find common interests, and definitely gets the conversation flowing. All right, so number 4 on the list, again, make sure you're writing these down. That one is going to be, all right, so what were you thinking when I came up to you? You seemed a little shocked. So this is particularly good if you approached the woman, and this always makes for good conversation because she'll have to go back and sort of rehash what she was thinking at that time. So it always makes for an interesting conversation. And you can follow it up with, or was it because I'm so handsome? See, when you say something like this, you got to stare at her in the eyes when you say it. And if the conversation's going well and the date's going good, hopefully you'll build that sexual tension as well. So definitely make sure you use this one. All right, so number 6 on the list of thought-provoking conversation starters, that one's going to be, what brought you out today? Are you coming from work? So this one applies particularly if you're going up and approaching a woman. That's a great way to sort of get the ball rolling and the conversation started. And she'll have to sort of go through what she did for that day. And again, this is an opportunity to build that commonality. She might say, hey, I just came from that supermarket on 123 Street. And you can say, oh, hey, I live right by that supermarket on 123 Street. I go there all the time. It's my favorite market to go to. So again, it's just that finding that commonality, right? So it's an opportunity to do that. So definitely make sure that you're integrating this into your conversations. All right, so number 7 on the list of thought-provoking conversation starters, that one is going to be, so where do you see yourself in the next year, 5 years, and decade? This is a great conversation, question, because it's going to cause her to really think deeply about, where she sees herself, her goals, some of the things that she's working towards. She's gonna be able to explain all of that here. And you know, this is an opportunity for you to qualify her as well. Make sure that your goals are aligned and that, you know, she's moving in the direction that you ultimately want to move in. So number 8 on the list, that's going to be, what's your favorite type of food? So again, this is another one for you to learn just a little bit more about her. And, you know, hopefully you all have the same sort of palette, and you can follow it up with question number 9. So, do you cook? Again, I recommend doing question 8 first, because when you ask question 9, it's sort of more in context and not like you're expecting the woman to be the cook. So definitely make sure you're asking this sort of question, because it's also good for you to know, right? Like, are you going to be the one doing the majority of the cooking if things do go the distance? You know, it's just good information to have in the back of your mind. And lastly, question number 10 for my favorite conversation starters, that's going to be, I got lost in your eyes for a minute. I'm sorry, what were you saying? So this is one I often use if the conversation's going a little stale. I use this to sort of get things back on track. And when you say it, you want to make sure you're staring at her eyes, and you know, it kind of helps to build that that sexual connection as well. So definitely make sure you are utilizing all of these questions. I really think that they will be useful for you. So with that, if you have any questions for me, definitely feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. In the description, you can also find my email, so feel free to reach out there. So definitely let me know what you think about this one. You know, did I miss any good conversation starters? Definitely let me know down below, and definitely make sure you check out the free Gentlemen and Scholars Ultimate Handbook that is available on the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website. All you have to do is check the description below, click on the link, and enter your name and email, and you'll get it immediately. It'll be downloaded right then and there. So definitely check that out. Like and subscribe. Until next time, Gentlemen and Scholars. Hey gents, hope you enjoyed the video. And check out the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website for our free Gentlemen and Scholars Ultimate Handbook, free resources, book recommendations, consultation services, and some pretty slick Gentlemen and Scholars merch. GNS hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, notebooks, and so much more. Until next time, Gentlemen and Scholars.